Happy morning to all of you. I welcome you all to the day 2 of a 3-day workshop on skills enhancement. Today our topic is identify your USP. Friends, what is meant by USP? USP is nothing, it's inside you. USP is a unique selling proposition or unique selling point that makes your business stand out from the crowd and tells your customers who you are and what is special about you. A USP is a unique quality that makes your business stands apart from the thousands of businesses out there. This concept was introduced by Russell Reeves in the 1940s. Your USP is all about answering questions to your customers, that is, why you, why should I buy from you, or why should I hire your services. Remember, your USP is the core personality of your business. It is the sole reason why people should be willing to spend their hard-earned money on your business. Keep it simple, short and genuine. Once you uncover your USP, use it consistently in all of your branding and marketing strategies that attract your target audience. So, my dear friends, I am much privileged to welcome the resource person of today's program, Dr. J. Lakshmi, Assistant Professor and Head, Chief Placement Officer, University College of Engineering, Anna University, Dindivanam, Chennai, has been here among us to speak on this topic, identify your USP. Friends, kindly watch this video till the end, and this video will make you take to the another level, and at the end of this video you will discover what is your USP. So on behalf of PG and Research Department of English, I proudly welcome the resource person of today's program. Thank you.
Respected principal and convener of this webinar, Dr. N. Bhuvaneshwari, Arulmigu Palaniyandavar Arts College for Women, the organizing secretary, Mrs. P. Selvi, Associate Professor and Head, PG and Research Department of English, the moderator of this webinar, Mrs. N. Nagapushpam, and my dear students. I'm happy to welcome you to the second day of this workshop on skills enhancement. And today we are going to discuss two very important topics listed under skills enhancement. One is USP, another is elevator pitch. And I'm not sure how many of you have heard both these usage, USP and elevator pitch. Let us discuss in detail. USP is an abbreviation and it expands like this: unique selling point. Okay, see, you must have seen my profile. I've been a placement officer for the past 7 years. And say for example, when I approach a company to come to my college for placements, the company would ask me, what is the USP of your college? What is the unique selling proposition of your college? What is special about your students? Why should we come to your college? That will be the question. So I have to give them one strong point about my students. Okay, so when it comes for institution, an educational institution, the companies would ask for the USP of the institution, of the students in common. But when you sit for an interview, you may be asked about your USP, your individual USP. So USP can be expanded into two forms. One is unique selling proposition or unique selling point. When I say unique selling point, I hope you understand that I would tell you, like, that is your point of difference when compared to all other remaining candidates. How do you differ from other candidates? I would give you an interview scenario as example. Okay, see, there are 100 students who are appearing for a single job. You may have a question like this from the interviewer. See, there are 99 students who are waiting outside. In what way you're different, and why should I give you this particular job? Fine. See, let us say, for example, again, let me be very precise. You have applied for a position vacancy in your own department, English department, for the position assistant professor, and 99 other candidates are waiting outside. You may have a question like this, and you may say that, sir, my USP is my creativity. Okay, I have a point to tell you. When you mention your USP, please make it a point that you connect your USP with the requirement of the job. Fine. See, the same example I would like to tell you. You have applied for the post of assistant professor, and you say that your USP is you're a great dancer. The college is not a dance college. It's not a fine arts college. You have applied for the position of assistant professor in English department. Then your dancing skills is not going to be very much of use in the English department. If you say that you are a very creative person, if you say that your USP is you have very strong communication skills, then it would be relevant and it will match the requirement of the employer, uh, and there should be a match between the USP of the candidate and the requirement of the employer. All right, so that is one point. The basic point is you should first identify what is your USP. How to identify your USP, your unique selling point. I have a few methods. You can try that out. Um, Try to recollect the skills for which you have been appreciated in your past. You might observe, when you closely make an observation, when you do a close research, you might see that one skill gets repeated. Maybe that is your USP. That is one way to identify your USP. If you want to identify your USP, you have to do a lot of introspection. You have to think within about yourself. You have to make a detailed analysis about yourself. If you find it difficult to do it by yourself, please do approach your teachers, ask your teachers. Maybe if you're third year students, final year students, final MA students, you must have traveled with your teacher, with your department for at least 2 3 years to 5 years. So definitely your teachers must have observed you, and they must have a clue about your USP. So to start with, identify your USP first. And once you identify your USP, please learn to put your USP in a very convincing, precise sentence language form. When it is asked in the interview, try to tell that in a very convincing form and try to be very precise about your USP. Don't say that, see, I'm a very friendly, super friendly person. I can make friends very easily. No company is going to hire a person for being friendly. If I hire a person who's super friendly, who can make friends within no time, you may form a chit chat group in the company, and you may, while away, you may waste the time of the company also. Instead, you can put that this way. If you're a very friendly person, it means that you can get along with people. Yes, then you can say that, see, I'm a good team player. When you put me in a team, I can comfortably work with anybody and everybody. I'm a very good team player. You can convert that to the requirement of the company. You can convert that into a way which sounds very convincing to the employer. So students, your first step when you're in the verge of starting your career, your first step is to identify your USP and try and practice a lot, build your USP. Invest a lot of time. As I've told you, skill requires time and training. If you want to become an expert in a particular skill, all right, you have to invest proper time and proper training. That is what is required. So your first step is to identify your USP, and your second step is to enhance your USP, strengthen your USP so that it becomes your core point. Okay, and the third step is try to talk about your USP in a very convincing, in a very precise language. That is important if you sit for an interview. See, I have given you the basic details about USP. So USP would help you to develop a unique identity. As I told you, see, this way I'm different from all the remaining 99 candidates who are waiting outside. This is my USP. This is my point of difference. All right. So it is required to identify and develop your USP. And as I've mentioned, know what the market requires, know the requirement need of your employer, and try to modify your USP. See, as I've told you, you're a super friendly person. You can gel with any group. Okay, so put it in a way that would convince your employer that your USP will match the need of the company. Say that, don't say that I'm a very friendly person. Instead, say that I'm a fantastic team player. If you put me in a team, I can work in a team. I can work very effectively, happily in a team. Okay, so know what you can offer that your competitors cannot. As I've told you, know your point of difference. Create a true short company USP. See, people may ask you to mention your USP in your resume. So try to learn to write your USP precisely. If you are asked to talk about your USP, learn to talk with a very convincing, precise tone about your USP. Remember, certain questions are already out about the interview. Any interview will start with a question like this: tell about yourself. Why should I hire you? No, tell it. The first question will be tell about yourself. Introduce yourself. When you try to introduce yourself, you have to mention your USP in your self introduction. Okay, so for the questions which are already out, what you can do is you can prepare, you can rehearse, you can get tailor-made answers ready. You can practice it several times. So if you do it properly, if you do the first question properly, definitely that would help you to, your confidence level will be increased. So please understand, first step is to identify your USP, and second step is try to make your USP match with the requirement of the employer, and third step is projecting your USP as your point of difference from the other candidates. All right, and learn to communicate your USP in a very positive, assertive language. So being the younger generation, I thought Avengers would help me to communicate what is USP. So I think there must be a lot of fans among the audience for Avengers. Yes. What are can you guess the USPs of Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, and the Hulk? Can you guess? I'll give you a minute to guess, and I'll come up with the answer also. Just see whether your answer matches with the answers I have given. Yes. See, they work in a team. They work as a team. All right. And they have a common focus. They have a war against a specific person. Okay. They have a common, and this is a team. They have to coordinate and they have to work towards the common focus. They have a common enemy. Thanos is a common enemy. And every one of the team player, they have invested their USP to achieve the common focus of the team. All right. Now you have come up with the answers. So let me give you my answer. Yes. Okay. See, Captain America is always the leader in all the battles. He leads the team. Okay. Iron Man is the brains of the battle. He decides what to do, when to do, how to do. Everything is designed by Iron Man. And Thor, he uses his enormous power to achieve success for the team. Hulk is the muscles of the battle. You understand what is USP? Okay. See, we can even have Mahabharatam as an example. Maybe I don't know how many children can associate with Mahabharatam. All the Panchapandavas, they are all warriors, basically warriors, but they have different USPs. Okay. Arjuna's USP is his bow and arrow, and Bhima's USP is different. Similarly, every person, you understand your core knowledge, your hard skill. We have discussed in the previous session. You are expected to be good in your hard skills. That is mandatory. More than your hard skill, what is your USP? All these people are all warriors, but then they have a unique selling point. They have a specific skill with which they differ from others. So you have to identify what is your unique selling point. I hope you understand. Yes. What is your USP that makes you different like this? See, in 100 candidates, as the example I've given you a little earlier, in 100 candidates, what is that makes you different? What is your USP? What is your point of difference? Yes, please identify that and invest time and training in that to make your USP your strength. Okay, the second topic I have listed under today's session is elevator speech. Okay, you must have heard the word elevator. Now, what is the function of an elevator? We all know. You can call it a lift, an elevator. All right. An elevator takes you up and brings you down. Yes? Yeah. An elevator pitch will take a candidate up, which means it would project you in a positive way or it would bring you down. It would project you in very poor light. Okay, by elevator speech, what I mean here is the first minute of any talk, the first few minutes of any talk. Uh, uh, Being a soft skill session, I would like to talk about an interview scenario because I believe that would help you when you sit for your interview. In an interview, as I told you earlier, certain questions are already out. One such question is tell about yourself, and that is what I mentioned here as elevator speech, the first part of an interview, the first few minutes of an interview. Okay, see, when you're asked to tell about yourself, fine, the answer you come up with can take you to take your confidence level, heighten your chances of getting your job to a greater extent if you do it properly. Because we already know this question, what you can do is you can prepare your answer well in advance. Be proactive. As I told you earlier, be proactive. You are going to sit for an interview for sure very shortly. And when you sit for the interview, this is going to be your first question of your interview. And in the first question, if you answer with good, if you give a very clear, assertive answer, that would help you to get the job, win the game. All right. So when you want to win in an interview, try to use very assertive language. What is assertive language? Be very positive. All right. Let your language be very positive, energetic. Use positive words. Stay energetic. Make short but impactful sentences. See, don't start your sentence like, I mean, your self introduction like this. Say, for example, I have a question. Lakshmi, introduce yourself. I say, sir, my name is Lakshmi, sir. See, the interviewer has already mentioned that he knows your name. All right. Don't use sentences like this. My name is Lakshmi. I did my undergraduate here. I'm coming from there. Don't do that. My mother's name is this. My father's name is this. See, that is going to be a professional interview. You need not give more of your personal details. If unless and otherwise it is asked, you need not give your personal details at all. Remember, every single sentence that you use in your self-introduction is accountable. So try to use short, precise, meaningful sentences. Don't waste your sentences. Don't try to circumlocute. Telling the same point in different sentences. Don't do that. Try to use, as I've told you, every single word you use in the self-introduction is accountable. So be very choosy. Please prepare well in advance. Practice it several times and let your language be very assertive. Don't use much of jargons. Jargon is too much of technical words. Don't be very verbose. Let it be very simple, understandable English. And as I have told you, practice it. Practice it several times. You can practice it before a mirror. You can practice it before friends. You can have a practice before your teacher. You can have a mock interview conducted in your college itself. So that would help you when you sit for the real interview. And please remember, as I've mentioned earlier when we discussed the USP, in your self-introduction, in your elevator speech, what does the listener has for him? There should be a point where the listener, that is the interviewer, your employer's requirement and your skill, there should be a common point where both blends together. All right, and that blending point you have to highlight in your elevator speech. See, this is what the job you have advertised for requires. This is this particular skill which you're looking for. Understand that, and I have something to match your requirement. Please highlight that in your elevator speech. When we talk about elevator speech, always remember a marketing executive who approaches his customer to sell his product. Any marketing executive will have a minute or two, not more than that. So for him, the time is very precious. He has to be very calculative, very clear about the sentences he's going to use in the 1 or 2 minutes. If he fails to convince the customer in the first 30 seconds, he'll lose the remaining 1.5 minutes. The customer will not have the patience to stand there and listen to him for the next minute. He'll definitely dismiss. He'll say, no, I'm not interested. So it is required for a customer, a marketing executive, to hold the interest of the customer in the very first 30 seconds. Elevator pitch is something similar to that. So you have to hold and sustain the interest of the interviewer. Then you have to make a very impactful elevator speech. That is a self-introduction. So with this, I would like to thank you for your time and effort. Thank you so much.
A 30-second elevator pitch, sometimes called your 30-second commercial, is a quick way to introduce yourself at a career fair, when networking, or in any professional setting. Start off with a quick intro, your name, year in school, and major. Easy, right? Next, mention your plans for the future. What field are you interested in? Let the other person know your goals. Then, talk about the steps you've taken to get there. Briefly describe your experience or skills that you've developed to help you reach your career goal. Finally, if you're talking to an employer, mention how their company fits into your career plan. And there you have it, the 30-second elevator pitch. Create one and you'll be able to approach employers with confidence. So, what's your pitch?
I'm Hari Vigneswaran and I have been a Python developer for the past 6 months. I have worked in some innovative projects, and my domain of interest is machine learning and deep neural networks. I have built some of the applications using machine learning and deep neural networks on the facial recognition data. And I'm an open book with some of its pages pasted. I'm a person who rises before the sun. I'm just crazy about solving problems. I could make the most optimal solutions for the most critical situations. If you are looking for a person who is smart, intelligent and energetic, who could solve your problems and could be a gem at your company, then you are looking at one.